Good evening, everybody. Yeah, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday live stream, the chilled live stream. Before we get started, I'm just going to show the membership video, and we'll be back in 1 minute. So, see you in 1 minute. So, you want to join my membership?
Contract. Sign it.
By joining, you won't only unlock members-only content. You'll also be supporting my channel and the growth of the community. Are you ready to do your part?
I'm doing my part.
For as little as a price of coffee a month.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
You'll be able to access all past live streams and get exclusive members-only content.
Yeah, boy.
That's less than 49p a video.
Shut up and take my money.
So if you're ready, join now and become part of this 3D journey.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
All right, so as you saw there, you can become a member of the channel and you can grab the dragon tutorial that we had on the live stream, as well as the anatomy tutorial, which we're going through at the moment. And if you want, you can also become a tier 3 Patreon and grab all the live stream stuff, as well as the current tutorial exclusively for my Patreons on how to sculpt a Velociraptor from the beginning. It's a video a week, and it's great for beginners to join in on. And you also get the files for that as well, so you can follow along at your own pace. Cool. All right. Well, before we get started, just going to put some background music on. Here we are. Is that working? There we go. Yeah, so we are currently on, 1 second, live stream episode 32, chilled session. So if you haven't been here before, you can, on the Thursdays, I normally do some sculpting in the background, and you guys can ask me any questions you like about anything to do with concepting or the project I'm working on at the moment, or anything in general, and I'll try my hardest to answer them as best I can. But so we're working on Godzilla's bust at the moment in these live streams. Don't want to take too much time in doing it because we want to get it into Photoshop as fast as possible and try to do a more kit bash or photo bash of Godzilla's bust. So we're going to spend a little bit of time in ZBrush and maybe more time inside of Photoshop. But tonight we're going to try and finish off the ZBrush sculpt inside of ZBrush tonight, and then get it ready for rendering and compositing for the following Thursday. And if you haven't seen already, I have a new sign. Where is it? There it is on the wall. I put that up today, and that's my legit logo on the wall there. Cool. Right, let's jump into ZBrush. Put that there and grab my funky looking background. There we go. All right, so last time we were on the Thursday, we kind of just did a very basic blockout sculpt of Godzilla's face or bust, and decided to stop it early, or stop it at a reasonable time, so that we can refresh our minds when we get back into it. So basically, we can just what we're going to do is we're going to open the mouth of Godzilla. As you can see here on the bottom here on the left hand side, I've added some references that we've been using. Oh, wait a second, let me put the comments on. There you go. Everybody saying hello everybody in the chat. Cool. Yeah, so we're going to open the mouth up of Godzilla. Anyway, by the way, can anyone hear me through the microphone? I'm still wary about this whole microphone setup. I'm not sure if it's coming through all right. So whilst I wait for an answer, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to open up the mouth. What's going on down here? Why is there a weird edge thing going on here? Strange. Let me just dynamesh this real quick. That's crazy. I don't know why that's going on. Is it the startup texture? Oh, I haven't got all my textures on. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm gonna have to load all my materials because I'm working on the brand new machine that I just got. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit of an issue. That's probably the good thing that we don't use it tonight. Why has this got a huge old scene going on through here? It's crazy. Has anyone else had this issue before? Strange. Never had that issue before. Hopefully it's not going to be something that's going to be too much of a pain. So let's see what we have. So like I said, we're going to open the mouth up and we're going to put some teeth in there, basically just doing the same thing as the bottom right, bottom left-hand corner here tonight. We're going to open the mouth up, and then we're going to also do all the detailing as well, using some quick alphas. So let's get into it, shall we? What I want to do is grab the mask tool. Actually, yeah, let's grab the selection tool and the lasso. And just going to select the bottom jaw. Like so. And I'm going to split that. Where is it? Split hidden. There we are. So we now have two separate geometries. I'm going to solo this, and I'm going to dynamesh it so that it closes the hole up, and just clean up the surface. What you can also do is maybe use the clay buildup and push it. Yeah, it does. It does look like a curve, doesn't it? Y Ford says it looks like a curve. I wonder if it is. Let me just grab and insert. Oops, curve brush. It is a curve. What the hell? That's weird. I'm going to split that. And delete it. And hopefully that's fixed it. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Ah, brilliant. Oh, bloody hell. Okay. So let's just grab the clay build-up. I'm just going to make a cavity in where his throat would be. Just a very rudimentary one at the moment. Making sure to leave a ridge along the front here, and this will just be where his teeth will sit along this area. This will be the gum line basically, and we'll have to get the lower jaw in as well. So coming over to the lower jaw, hiding everything. Oops. Everything to white. There we are. I'm going to just, before I actually dynamesh it, I'm just going to rotate it on the hinge here where the jaw is, just so it's a little bit open, not too far. I don't want it like that because then it's going to stretch. If you try to close it later, it will stretch the bottom area. So you kind of want to put it in a nice, naturally loose pose. You know, something around there, like so. And then I'm going to dynamesh that to close the hole. And I'm just going to smooth out, get rid of these horrible artifacts along the sides here. You can see it's these little holes, whereas sort of the geometry is too thin. What I normally do is, if smoothing doesn't work, and I re-dynamesh it. If it doesn't work, then what you can do is use a inflate brush and just inflate the edges a little bit so that it's got some thickness, and then you can dynamesh it again and then smooth it out again, like so. There we are. All right, so that's the lower jaw. Let me just I'm going to sculpt some shape in here as well. Turn it on the back face mask so it doesn't affect anything on the bottom. I'm just going to give it some shape in here. And also add a gum line at the bottom. Now, I'm not being too precious with this because it's not really needed. If you look at the sort of concept that we're working from, a lot of it is actually you can get away with just having a really basic sculpt and then take it into ZBrush, into Photoshop later and really work on the compositing side of things. So not to be too careful. How's everybody been, by the way? I hope everyone's had a good week so far and staying safe and getting their projects done or learning something new. I've just recently been learning how to use Marvelous Designer. I mean, I've used it before on very small projects, small personal projects, but I've actually had to start using it in Studio for my work, and it's an interesting program. It's very much you got to have a lot of mathematical, like a brain on you when you're using that program. Well, you don't. It's not like you have to have a sort of degree in maths. It's just that it's very much got a lot of mathematical measurements in it. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but it does make making clothing a lot better and easier than trying to sculpt it all inside of ZBrush. So it just gives it that realism to it. I think I might do it more often, to be fair. I might just, since I have the license at work, I might just start to work on it a bit more and practice on it a little bit more. Because I mean, if you can master Marvelous Designer and you already can do ZBrush, then you know you can work for the big companies out there, like for photorealistic games and stuff like that, where they have to have clothing. It's just another thing under your arse, under your belt, basically. And yeah, it's a good program. Okay, so we have the mouth open, but now we need to shape it a little bit more. So just going to pull the jaw down. Oh, sorry, pull the jowls or the under the throat up a little bit. Like that. And pull the head and sort of brow ridge down a bit as well. And it's kind of weird, the design for Godzilla's face is very, very small. He's like, everything's really tight and small, really. And then it just, as you go down the body, it just starts to balloon out, you know. It's like the head's the smallest part, but why is it all soft? 1 second. Oh, the intensity has been pushed down. There we are. Yeah, so it's got really small, looks like he's got really small features to his face. And then he has this huge body, which is crazy. Got one here from Autista 3D. Says, I love your work. How do you make Dynamesh not lose details? When I use it, it smooths too much. Yeah, so what I tend to do, just turn that off real quick. What I tend to do is in the settings for Dynamesh, I'll have it set to set the blur off, so turn blur off in the settings here, and that'll just retain the shapes that you've sculpted a lot better. And that's basically it, really. I hate having blur on when doing Dynamesh because it just destroys all that sort of potential detail. I say potential detail because, you know, it's not final, but it helps to keep that roughness look to it, basically. So eventually this jaw is going to connect in here. So what I want to do is on the lower jaw, I'm just going to build this up so it's a snugger fit. All right. I think we might actually have to move the jaw down a little bit more because we have to be able to see inside the mouth. So just need to pull it down a little. There we go. That's better. Because now what we can do is we can actually come in here and sculpt the interior. And if we have a look at the references, I've found an extra reference from the Prime Studios toy version or maquette version, and you can kind of see what's going on here. Now that we've opened the mouth, we can really get in here and detail it better. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Just using Dam Standard real quick, and just going to carve the difference between the interior and the exterior of the mouth. So it's going to come down like that roughly, and so I can build up this section, which is where the lip is, the sort of lip area, or the exterior of the mouth, and then the interior will be here. So let me just pull this in. Now it's actually, if you look at his sort of mouth from the side, he hasn't actually got, well, this version of Godzilla hasn't actually got a lot of teeth. Just make it a little bigger. You can kind of see that the teeth doesn't go all the way back to the back of the mouth, and there's only got like a few, rarely. It's kind of crocodile-like as well, which is quite cool. So we're just gonna squeeze that back there. So let's just keep that there. What we're going to do is, using the move brush, we're just going to move these parts forward. Again, I'm not too worried about neatness just yet. There we are. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. So now we're going to have to move this in. Of course, if we had the mouth wider, let's just put it wider, shall we? Let's not worry about. There we go. That's better. So we can pull all this in. Thank you, Tomorrow. Yes, I do get a lot of people saying that my logo is quite cool, which is nice. You know, I don't know how I actually created it, to be fair. I think one day I just sort of spent one whole day making about 10 different logo designs, and then I decided to go with this one because it's a little bit, it was minimalism. And I quite like the idea of having a minimalist logo to represent my sort of work and stuff, or my sort of branding. So, yeah. Inflate. There you go. So I'm just going to use the inflate on the lower jaw now. Now that we've moved it, we need to repose it or re-sculpt it, position it on the sides here so that it sits better. Same thing for the top. I'm just going to, oops, too much. It has to kind of go past his eye, you see, the gap. think I might have too much geometry on here, but we'll just leave it as is for now. Fill in that gap there. Oops. Cool. All right, so we can now just have a look at the side here. There we are. Just clean this up. Let me just turn off. There we are. Okay. Now we can add some of those lines coming from the eye there, and some of those aggressive looking lines as well. So, like I said, I've got a brand new machine, and I'm working on a brand new machine. So what I did was I thought to myself, it's just going to be great because I got a brand new machine. I can put a lot more, do a lot more with it, right? In terms of rendering and all that sort of thing, and sculpting. So I managed to get, like you can see here, I managed to get my ZBrush license working, which is great because it's like you can't get the what do you call it? The license, perpetual license. Yeah, you can't get that anymore, and so. The good thing Maxim license has done, or Maxim Studios done, is allow people to still use the old version if they have the perpetual license. And so I thought, great, I'll just do that, and then I'll go onto Keyshot or Lexon's Keyshot and do the same thing, and it will all work fine. So I can still use my perpetual license from ZBrush and my perpetual license from Keyshot. But by the way, I bought these licenses, and I mean, Keyshot license was not cheap. It was like $1,000. So, and that was for the perpetual version. So I go onto Keyshot Lexon's website to try to get the version of Keyshot that I was using, and they don't do it anymore. They discontinued the perpetual license, so now you have to pay for a subscription, which means I no longer have access right now. I can get access, but I don't have access right now to Keyshot. And I was really enjoying using Keyshot. Now, when I went on the website, it says on the website that you have to pay, what was it, $99 a month for Keyshot, which comes to, wait a minute, how much is that? Grab my calculator. 99 times 12. It's like $1,188 a year for the use of Keyshot. Basically, a perpetual license. The amount the perpetual license was for just 1 year. I was thinking to myself, can I afford to get Keyshot? I mean, I need to. I probably have to, just because, I enjoy using Keyshot because it's very professional for concepting. If you want to be a concept artist, then you need to at least have skills in real time, like a realistic rendering sort of software. So I was thinking to myself, I'm going to have to, but I'm just a bit pissed off, to be fair. When you buy a product and it's perpetual, even though I know that I don't think Lexion still have the rights to Keyshot. I think maybe they do, but the other company that had the rights to it probably sold it, and then the new company said to themselves, yeah, we're not going to bother with the customers that Lexion had. We're going to get them to pay more, basically, for the same product, which is really annoying when a company does that, because not a lot of people can afford to pay you know, $99 a month for software. I mean, you include all the other software that you have to buy as well, like Photoshop. I mean, there are other alternatives, but you know, Photoshop is mainstream, so that's why I use it, because it's mainstream. But you got Photoshop, then you have again ZBrush, which is like basically if you do not use ZBrush, then you will not get a job in the industry if you don't know how to use ZBrush. So they already have you by the short and curlies there, because you have to pay for it. And then it's just like Maya as well is another thing. You know, that's not cheap. That's another couple of hundred a year for a year's license. Even though you got Blender, and a lot of people will say, why don't you just move over to Blender? Well, yes, I could move over to Blender. I should probably look into that, but it's not the mainstream platform. You know, it's not the main sort of program that these big companies use. Their indie companies will probably use Blender a lot more because it's cheaper to run Blender, but not saying professional, but more mainstream studios still use Maya. So, hello, Cake Stir. Nice to see you here tonight. He says it's because subscriptions make them so much money. Think how many people are paying $99 a month adds up quick. Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the amount of programs I have to fork out for just to create the videos and the lives, like all the little images and all those other things. It's ridiculous, and it's not like it's not cheap, basically. That's why I you know, ask people to sign up to the YouTube channel and memberships, because basically you're paying for me to have subscriptions so that I can bring you more tutorials and stuff like that. You know, I'm not actually making any money off the stuff that I sell, because it all goes towards software and technology for you guys. Tomorrow says, I've tried Marvelous Designer but found it pretty tricky. Maybe when you've mastered it, you can do a tutorial. Yeah, well, I tried today to do a jacket, right? And I got pretty close. I got like I got the front, the back, and the sleeves on. And then I thought to myself, okay, how do I put a collar on? So I went on YouTube and I typed into YouTube how to do collars in Marvelous Designer. And I sat there and I found a good video, but I just sat there and I was just like, oh my God, what the hell? I don't know what is going on here. Because they just, you know, it's mind blowing what people can do inside of Marvelous Designer. And I was just completely, you know, out of my depth, basically. So yeah, it's a cool program, but it will take a long time to get used to. My Cakester says, I thought Maya was 1,200 a year, not 200. Yeah, did I say 200? I think I said a couple of hundred, didn't I? But yes, it's roughly about 1,200, and that's for a year's usage. And I'll be honest, I don't even use it that much, unless I'm doing a tutorial or creating a tutorial that needs it. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Cool. Right, I think it's coming along pretty well. So I've been watching in my very short spare time. I've been rewatching the Fallout on Amazon Prime. I'm a massive fan of Fallout. I really love the universe that was created. And yeah, I think Amazon Prime did a pretty good job with it, to be fair. I was expecting it to be really, really bad when it first came out, but if you're a massive fan of it, they seem to have gotten quite a lot of the original, or not the original, the Fallout 4 universe in that film or in that TV series. They got the feeling of it correct, and the naivety of the Vault Dweller and stuff like that. So yeah, I liked it. It's got very good ratings from me, basically. But what do you guys think of it? And what did you guys prefer? Fallout, was it Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, or did you prefer Fallout 4? Because I did like Fallout 3, but I like the look of Fallout 4. You know, the sort of the more colorful in this apocalyptic wasteland. It's a bit more colorful. It got a bit more color to it. It's kind of a weird cross between joyful and sort of dystopian nightmare. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, basically. And then just wondering who else has seen that show. Kato says the retopo tools in Maya are like so much better than in Blender, plus rigging and things like that. Yeah, well, Maya has some really cool features to it. I think Blender's got some cool features to it, but it's like I said, it's not. It's all open source, and which is good, but it's not mainstream, unfortunately. If in the future it does become mainstream, I'll definitely plan to work on using that. And if it does become mainstream in the future, which I don't know if it will, because a lot of people like the idea of it being open sourced and available to everyone. And I think if it went mainstream, then there might be a subscription fee for it or something like that. You know, they'll just automatically make it a subscription fee or something to use, because money. But yeah, if it became a little bit more acknowledged in the studios that, you know, the big studios, then yeah, definitely look into it more. Joseph says, for me, Fallout 4 is the best. Yeah, I mean, I love Fallout 4. It's much more refined in the art style. You know? Celestial says, Topogon is so much better for retopo. Yes, it is. I used to think the same way. When I was first starting off, I used retopo or Topogun, sorry, when I was a student and learning how to retopo. I agree, it has got some good stuff, but if you can master the Maya version of retopoing, then you don't have to worry about having two separate programs to retopo. You just use Maya's version, which after you've done it for a little while, it just becomes natural, like, you know, riding a bicycle, which is really cool. I think at some point I want to sort of do live streams on using Maya to retopo and to take an existing model to the next stage. So maybe we can look into that, and I can show you how I would go about retopoing using Maya, which is a skill that everyone should have. I'm not the greatest retopoer. I can retopo pretty much whatever you give me, but there are some cool things you can do inside ZBrush, inside of Maya, to help you with your retopoing skills. So yeah. Oh, I forgot my ticker tape. 1 second. I forgot it last time. There we go. Yeah. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, we're just gonna move the image over so you can see it from the different angle real quick. Just want to see what's going on in here. This jaw, lower jaw. The lower jaw is quite thin, really, so we can really move this in to meet there. And the gum It's not really there much, is it? It's sort of just really shallow. There we go. It's going to look a lot better once we put some teeth in him. And we're just going to cave that side piece in. There we are. Case says I didn't even know Top Gun was a thing until you just said that. Might install it now. Yeah. Celestial says, what character would you pick for Retopo? I'll be honest with you. How many characters have I got? Let's just have a look real quick. Just move you out the way. I don't know. I mean, because it'll be like a beginner type course for retopoing, I don't want to have like a really complex character to retopo for you guys. So it'll probably be bipedal for this one, or it could be a bust. We could take a bust and retopo a bust, and then take it into Substance Painter and texture it inside of Substance Painter afterwards. I know that you can see here I've got a Death Claw here, which hasn't been retopoed yet, but that is quite a complex looking creature. But that's ready to go. We could do something. Oh, that's a bit too much. What I think we should do is we should do a bust first, just so I can show you the tools for doing that. So we can retopo. God, now I got to find a bust. An interesting one. Would you guys be interested in retopoing this? The dragon, or sorry, Rodan. That might be cool. We could even just retopo the Godzilla, this one. We could retopo this and then take that into Substance Painter, and I can show you a quick way of putting some textures on it to make it look a bit more interesting. Maybe that's what we'll do. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Kesa says, wouldn't it be better to do a complex one, as it would teach beginners how to do complex shapes as well? I think what I want them to do is get used to the tools in Maya first. And you can't really get used to the tools if you've got such a complex looking creature. So using basic tools on a basic sculpt would be more, I think, would be more beneficial. And then once they're not fluent, but once they're more what do you call it? Once they are, I can't think of the word now. Comfortable, that's the word. Once they're comfortable with the tools, then you can move on to something else. So we'll then move on to a full character. And also time restraint as well. We want to be able to do this in a couple of live streams to begin with. And if everybody was happy with that, then we could do a full character, and I'll show you how to do a full character afterwards. Comics Legend says, I thought the retopo was going to be for the dragon sculpt to go along with that series. Yeah, we can do that one for the more complex after the bust. So if you do the bust first, so you guys get used to the tools, then we can do the retopo of the dragon and do the substance for that as well. Yeah, Comics Legend says, I think to start off, it would be cool with a Godzilla, as you mentioned. Thank you very much. Kesa says, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. If you're going to do multiple examples, in basic one to start with would be good, and then complex. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to do. I also want to make a new tutorial, finishing off the, what do you call it? Death Claw, taking it to a final game ready type character with textures. But I think I'm going to put that as a paid tutorial. So it'll follow on from the sculpted tutorial in the future. Once I get some time to do that, because I just don't have, I have little time to do much, to be fair. I might actually plan to do that tutorial during the Christmas break, so maybe watch out for that in the January. I'll probably have that ready for January next year. Cool. Well, you got a tongue that we have to put in there as well, so we'll put that in later. Okay, there's a definite connection point here, the back. And this should do good. Let's use a move brush, just gonna clean this line up here. Just making sure that jaw is not too short, because we did move it back a little bit. Okay, let's add some teeth real quick, because we're going to get this done quick. So just going to append a cylinder and shorten it, or make it smaller. I'm going to smooth it out, and I'm also going to pull it up and grab the pinch brush. Just pinch the top. Now they're quite small, these teeth, so I'm not too worried about detail. If you have a look at the concept we're doing, it looks like the guy's just gone and actually just painted it in some of these. So, I mean, you could probably get away with just having really small teeth in here. Just going to move this up. Yeah, you can see on this version of the toy, it doesn't have that many teeth at all. I say toy, it's collectible, not toy. Let's just rotate that. This is probably going to be the most boring part of the stream, because all I'm doing is copy and pasting the tooth in multiple places. So Cakester says, what is your favorite thing to do outside of CGI? Good question. I enjoy going to the gym, actually. I know it's pretty mild and boring thing to say, but it's a great stress reliever, and I don't know, it's just a fun thing to do, really, is lift heavy weights. It's not for everybody, but what happens is it's actually helped me in the past to focus as well, because a lot of people will go to the gym once or twice, and then, or not once or twice, but they'll go for a couple of weeks or a month or something, and then they'll get really bored, and then they'll start to slack off and stop going to the gym and that sort of thing. Because they don't see results straight away. And for me, it was, I never really felt that way, to be fair. I've been gymming for a very long time, and I'm still not the shape I want to be, but you know what, that's fine, doesn't matter. I'm more going for strength and to be able to lift heavy weights, so I don't really care too much about the shape of my body is. You know, I'm not one of those people who needs to have a six-pack or anything like that. I'm just happy with, you know, having a bit of a dad bod and eventually I'll be able to lift heavier weights. But yeah, that's my. I'm pretty boring, to be fair. That's the sort of thing I'm interested in is sort of bodybuilding plus strongman events and stuff like that. Or, has anybody ever seen or heard of Eddie Hall? He's kind of someone that I really I don't look up to him, but I really admire his drive in life, because his whole story of how he became the strongest man is crazy. And I've watched a couple of videos online on like the daily eating of a strong man, and how he ate like 15,000, well, not 15,000. Oh yeah, maybe 15,000 calories in a day, and it's just like, that's bloody nuts, Same with Ronnie Coleman. I love Ronnie Coleman. I think he's an amazing bodybuilder, and one of the craziest bodybuilders, to have ever lived. He actually changed the whole. I think he changed the way bodybuilding became more of a beast. A way. Not the way of a beast, but how the size of people became bigger after Ronnie Coleman was introduced in the bodybuilding scene, because that guy was just massive. Unfortunately, I think he hurt his back, or he hurt himself somewhere, and it put him out of being a bodybuilder, and it's a shame, because he was kind of like, he was going to be like the next Arnold type character, type person, which is just sad, really. Celestial says, do you use yourself as a reference for sculpting? No, not really, unless I'm doing a fat person. I'm not fat, but I'm just I'm not saying that fat is bad, but I'm not very fit in that regard. I could lose a couple of more pounds, but I'm actually on a bulk at the moment, because I did go on a holiday, and I fast for that, but now I'm on a bulking session, so I'm actually eating 3,300 calories a day. I know it's not much, but it's called a lean bulk, and I don't want to get overly big, but I want to be able to maintain muscle mass as well as build muscle. So I'm kind of on a clean bulking stage at the moment, and it's only been 3 weeks, and it's difficult, I tell you. I have to space my meals out throughout the day, and it just gets more and more difficult, because you're just eating breakfast, and then 2 hours later you're then eating a snack, which is another 300 calories or whatever, and then another 2 hours later you're eating lunch, which is another 500 calories, and it's just like you're constantly just eating, and it's actually not very good for me to do it, because I don't spend my time in the gym. I spend my time in front of a computer a lot of the time. So I should really keep that in mind and not bulk too much. Otherwise, I'll just become really fat and big, but not in the good way. Comics Legend says, will there be a series of bodybuilding training videos? I don't think you want to see me bodybuilding. I've got the you see, the amount of fat is located around the midriff, and the legs are quite skinny. Well, I don't say skinny, but they're not very big. I want to build them up first. I did manage to lift 100 kilograms in a deadlift, which is at the moment my personal best. I haven't really been doing it for long, like the whole strength exercises or weight exercises, where you try to lift as much as you can. So normally when I'm gymming, before I started this whole new chapter, I was just doing it to maintain muscle mass and also try to, stay fit. So I'd be doing more walking and less weights. But now I'm actually pushing myself to do more weights and less walking. So at the moment, I was able to lift 100 kilograms, deadlift 100 kilograms, which is not bad. I want to get that to 120, 130 at some point, and just keep going up as if I can. But I need to work my legs out and build bigger legs, because they don't look great. It's kind of funny actually when you go into a gym and you see these guys with huge upper torsos and wings, their lateral muscles here, like their lats are huge, sticking out like they're walking around like this, and then you kind of pan down slowly, and then it just all makes sense. As they get lower down, the legs get thinner and thinner, and it's just bad. It's not very good to look at. Well, it's sad really, because a lot of men do that in the gym, and I'm a sort of I've partaked in that in the past. You want to build muscle, and you always start with the top half and work your way down. But these guys, they just never work their way down, and it's not very appealing or attractive, I'd say. I would rather have huge legs and a moderate top half than huge top half and no legs. And they always try to hide it with trousers or those long tracksuit bottoms, But you can definitely tell that they don't do it. They don't focus on their legs. OM says, "Hi, how's your vacation?" Yeah, my vacation was great, thanks. 2 weeks and fresh and ready to get going on more sculpts. Says, "Are you going to sculpt full character after anatomy course to apply the knowledge of anatomy?" So what we're doing with the anatomy classes is we're sculpting each individual piece, and we're also doing some time lapse or timed sculpting, so we can get it, so we can sort of do our sort of tests and all that sort of thing, and make them individual pieces first, and then we're going to just merge that all into one, and then clean it up to make it look like it works with the whole body, and that will be the whole body. But and then what I think I'll do is I'll show you how to take the the male model here, because even though it's got definition on it, it still can use it's a great way to speed up the processes of sculpting. And a lot of people do this. They don't just start sculpting from a block of clay. What they'll do is they'll have a model that they can use as a starting point, and then they'll work from that. And that's probably something that's definitely something I'll show you how to do after the anatomy course. Kate that says, "My legs are incredibly skinny, basically sticks." Yeah, well, join the club. Comics Legend says, "You get your strength from your legs." Yes, you do. That's why I can only lift 100 kilograms when I should be able to lift more if I did better leg workouts. Cakester says, "Leg day is far more difficult though. I can barely stand after a leg day." Yeah, it is. It's definitely a very strenuous day if you do it right, and if you actually push your legs, because you have to work your legs out a lot more than you have to work your arms and chest out, in order to get some sort of result. I find you really have to make them burn and force them, basically. Cool. Okay, we got some teeth in here. Let me just go check the reference real quick. Yeah, it's just a mash of teeth in here, really, isn't it? Celestial says, "I can lift 2 dumbbells, 2 kilograms each." That's not bad. I could do that as well. Well, yeah. I mean, I've screwed up my arm here. Sorry, can't see. I screwed my arm up here. I think I've got tennis elbow from lifting weights, and so that's why another reason why I'm not really getting much top half done, because every time I rotate my arm in a certain way, it twinges there. So I'm kind of also trying to rest it, but that's the thing. When you get older, I think I did screw up my legs when I was younger, and I played basketball when I was younger. In high school, it wasn't nothing, special. I wasn't like playing for the team or anything, but I was playing basketball, and my right leg, I constantly twisted my ankle on my right leg, and I think that is why I have a sharp pain that shoots down my leg on the right hand side. And I think it's because of that injury from years ago. So here's a tip for everybody: make sure you look after your body. Do not do stupid things like try to dunk a basketball when you're only 5'9" or 5'10". It's not gonna end well. Catester, yes. Any updates on the feedback you were going to give me on the Basilisk project? No rush, just curious. Yes. Because this weekend was the computer, so the computer came this weekend, or last weekend, so I couldn't do the what do you call it, the review for your work. But I think I'm going to do it this weekend instead, because I've also got pages to sign on a book that I'm working on, artwork. So I've got the signature pages to write to sign on those, and then what I'll do in the afternoon is I'll give you some feedback on the Basilisk that you created on the Discord channel. But I will get around to it. It's just there's a lot to do on my side. Comics Legend says you have to be careful with heavy weights. You don't want to get injured. Ronnie Coleman was famous for doing heavy weights, and now he is in a wheelchair. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not going to go berserk. I'm just going to, I just want to get to about 130 kilogram deadlift. That's it. I can already just about do 100. So if I and I also have all the protective gear. So I've got the back brace, the leg brace, the knee braces. So I'm wearing all that protective stuff, but I'm not going to go super crazy. It's not in me to do that, and I know how precious your spine is. You can't be screwing around with that shit. I'm also doing this. I don't know if you guys know about this. What is it called? One second, I'll just get up my phone. Oops. It's called
young men. So you're down to like 2 or 3%.
There we are. It's called The Conqueror. Has anyone heard of that? The Conqueror. It's basically an app you can get on your phone, and you do walks, and at the end of the walks you get a medal. So if you can do like virtual walks basically. So I've got a watch that's got my steps on it. So you just type in your steps at the end of the day or how far you walked, and then you'll gradually get to getting a medal, right? I've already done quite a few of them. I'm currently on the Hobbit trail at the moment, and I'm on the first Hobbit film virtual walk at the moment. I think it's quite fun to do those as well. Just a bit of innocent fun, basically. Okay, I think that's going to be cool, quite good for the teeth. We can, fix those a little later. Fix whatever later. I think talking of Fallout from before, I think Fallout 3. It was either Fallout 3 or Fallout 4. There was one concept artist that created the majority of the world of Fallout. And I think that's just amazing. That's why everything looks so good in the game. It's because it all came from literally one guy's vision, concept vision. I think that's just amazing. If it's true, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think I saw a video on the making of Fallout and the games, not the TV series, and they mentioned, because one of the concept artists who worked on it, I think he passed away, and he was in charge of creating the world of Fallout, like all the robotic stuff, all the characters, the clothing, environment stuff. You know, it was crazy. Joseph Bonkowski says, gym could be a good place to observe and learn anatomy. Just you must wear a relax, I'm an artist shirt. Yeah. I don't think, well, from looking at social media, I think the gym is the worst place to stand and stare at people. Yeah, got to be very careful in the gym. It's a jungle, basically. It's crazy. You got men who are, I'm talking men. They're more like teenagers who are, I don't know how they get that big. I mean, they must be on some sort of gear, I think. But you got testosterone everywhere, and one wrong look can just ruin the whole experience of going to the gym. I think most of you've seen videos online about, you know, young ladies in particular catching men in the gym staring at them, which is crazy. I mean, I don't agree with mobile phones in the gym. I don't agree with that sort of culture. I think it's sort of shallow. Plus, you're there to work out, right? You're not there to take pictures. And it's just kind of pathetic. But some of these sort of influencers, people in society on social media, are deliberately going to gyms, from what I've seen, and trying to catch men looking at them when they're wearing the most skimpiest thing to the gym. Just like, of course people are going to stare, you know. Well, what else are you going to do? Well, I mean, you're supposed to work out, obviously. You're not supposed to stare, but I mean, it's just crazy. The amount of clothing that there is no clothing on some of these ladies that go to the gym. Or very little clothing. It's crazy. Case says, bro, the girls claim staring when the guys look at them for like 0.5. I know. And you got to now look out for the cameras, you know. It's crazy. Oh yeah, he also says the World of Building from District 9 film. Yes, I like that film as well. That was I think it was a South African director who made that film or directed the film. But I do love the sci-fi sort of designs from District 9 and Elysium as well. More Elysium, I think, because Elysium, they had those robots which are very much grounded in real life. You know, you can really think that those things are something that someone would build in real life. So yeah, I'm very much love Elysium. I also watched the Creator a couple of well, it's on my holiday. I watched The Creator. I found that film strange. It was an interesting film, but it really did leave like a bad taste in the back of your throat when you finish watching it. It's just like, ooh, is that what the future holds for humanity and all that? I don't really want to live there, to be fair. Live in that sort of reality. But it was an interesting story. Interesting characters and designs and stuff. Oh, got some questions here. Joseph says, as Barney Stinson said, you must enhance your peripheral vision at the gym. Yeah. Just wear big sunglasses. That'll do. Cosmic Legend says, I would like to request one of the next projects be a robot. Oh god, robot or a mecha. I'll think about it. It's robots and mechas take a long, because I'm more organic, right? I'm an organic sculptor, and when I do robots, they come out organic. I'll show you. I think you might have seen it before. I'll just show you what I mean. Move you out of the way. So this is my attempt at sculpting a mecha robot type character, right? And if you haven't seen this video already, then go ahead and watch it. But so you can see here, it looks cool, but I don't think it's practically, it's a practical thing that you can sort of rig and animate and stuff. You know, it's very cool looking, but I don't think it's practical at all. The thing about hard surface sculpting is that if you don't do it right, then it doesn't work, you know. If it's a concept like this, then fair enough, but there's particular rules when it comes to mech sculpting or designing a robot that you don't get with organics, because like pivot points and sort of, we call them ball joints and stuff like that. You have to think about those things and how they're going to interact with the wrists and stuff like that as well. It's quite a difficult thing to master, sort of mecha robot sculpting. But it's not an impossible thing for me to do. I think it's one of those things that's going to take a long time to do, really. Katester says, for me, nothing beats the Avatar franchise in terms of visuals. It's absolutely stunning. Yes, I agree. I found The Way of Water, although I love the visuals and I could just be, you know, lost in that world forever, I still just felt it lingered too long on certain things, like how they learned to swim and become part of the culture of the water tribe and stuff. I think they could have shortened that a little bit more. But you know, they always try, all these films are trying to make the 4-hour sort of film or the 3-hour film. I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League was like, what was it, 4 hours, 5 hours? I can't remember how long it was. It was pretty long. But yeah, I do like Avatar's creatures. The robots, they're okay, but the creatures are really cool. Kata says, Ara Kermanskian is a great artist. If you want to learn how to do mechs, you can find him on the Maxim ZBrush channel. Oh yeah, there you go. Got one here from Kevin Dimich. Kevin Dimich says, always love your works. Thank you very much. We got one from Renato Salguro. It kind of reminds me an Eva from the Evangelion anime. What does? Comics Legend says, I fell asleep in the last Avatar movie. Yeah, I think I had to pause it halfway through and then rewatch the ending of it another day. But I will say this for the Avatar film. The first one, that was mind-blowing. The second one, I think we're just too used, and it was a long time between films as well. It's like 14 years, I think, or something stupid. But I think we were just so used to CGI by then that it kind of lost, for me, it lost a lot of the magic of the CGI being perfect. You know, I mean, we've seen loads of things that have come since Avatar 1. So it kind of just, it didn't feel special, very special. I mean, the designs were cool, but it didn't feel very special in the end. Oh, thank you. Yes, the robot. Yeah, thank you very much. Kesa says, I think Avatar: The Way of Water should have been about 30 minutes less in terms of runtime. Then it would have been perfect. Yep, I agree. I do agree. Comics Legend says, I think it should have ended with the first one. I take it you're not a big fan of the Avatar films, mate. I'm interested. I'm not interested in the stories per se. I'm more interested in the world building. You know, I'm interested in how the visuals look and if they can show off something that we haven't seen before. I'll tell you what really blew my mind when it came out was, in terms of CGI, was Thanos from Avengers, not Endgame, Avengers Infinity War. When you finally got to see Thanos and the detail in the facial animations and the wrinkles and every little thing about him, just really, it was just mind-blowing that they could create a character with that much emotion, CGI character, with that much emotion in his face and sort of character in his sort of the way he moved, the way he acted, the way he walked, and all those sort of things. It was just mind-blowing. I think that was, well, apart from Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean, I think that was like the pinnacle of facial animation for me. But Davy Jones still has the undefeated sort of the undefeated what do you call it? He's still undefeated, basically, Davy Jones. If you go back and you watch Dead Man's Chest, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and you just watch Davy Jones's facial movements and stuff, it's just it's unmatched. You just can't. That's where CGI is the pinnacle of CGI. Was that? Yeah, Kester, I think there are 5 more planned. I think they're going to start rushing these out because there's apparently 1 more coming out this year, and then there's going to be consecutive years. I think it's just going to keep bringing them out. I think they've managed to get to a point with the CGI where they can't go any better, and they're just going to start to push these films out. Kester says, they did a good job with Thanos Strength 2. I like it when the heroes actually lose and have to regroup. Yeah, me too. The only thing I dislike about the Avengers films, especially Avengers Endgame, is it didn't give Hulk the chance to have a rematch with Thanos. They missed a trick there. And I think taking the Hulk out of nearly the whole of Endgame, well, not Endgame, sorry, Infinity War, and then having him as some sort of human Hulk, like Professor Hulk in the Avengers Endgame, it just neutered the Hulk. You know, the Hulk's supposed to be a rage machine, and we never ever got to see him do that apart from the first Avengers film and a couple of the other Avengers films, but we never really got to see him fight someone who was on his strength level. VS3D says, any particular tutorials you would suggest for a new sculptor? I've got plenty. Let me just pull it up. To be fair, all of my tutorials are pretty much beginner tutorials, even though they look like they could be more expert or experienced tutorials. They all sort of follow basic ZBrush sculpting and ZBrush techniques, basically. But if you want, you can grab the troll bust tutorial. This one's very basic. It just goes through how to use ZBrush and also how to sculpt a troll bust in that time or throughout. And then basically all you got to do is go from the troll bust all the way up to the, what do you call it? Death Claw. And you'll be able to learn incrementally, you'll be able to learn more about ZBrush throughout. Let's go back there. Comics Legend says, I agree, that is one of my favorite pirate movies. It really is the best pirate movie, I think. Dead Man's Chest. I think he's coming back as well. Johnny Depp, I think there's rumors of Johnny Depp coming back for the next Pirates of the Caribbean film. I don't know. I think we should have stopped at 3, to be fair. Renato says, have you seen the latest Alien Earth series? It has a very good VFX work and sick creature design. I haven't got. Is it HBO or is it Halo or Hulu? I haven't got Hulu. I'm not subscribed to it. I've heard some good things about it. I've heard some not too good things about it, but I'm more into the sort of creature gore stuff. So I love Alien. Alien's probably one of my favorite horror films that's out there. It's just because I you know what I hate about recent films is they always try to put a origin film for these creatures, right? When Alien first came out, nobody knew what Alien was. Nobody knew where it came from. It was just a monster movie. And now they want to go and they want to start to give all these backstories to where these creatures come from. And I don't really want that. I just want a horror movie. I just want someone to be killed by a monster. That's all. But I will look into the Alien Earth series and see if I can find it, or maybe watch it on Hulu. But yeah, what do you think about AI, which is taking a lot of place? Are you afraid for the future of artists? I get this question quite a bit. It is something to be wary about, as with every industry, not just games and films. I'm talking everything across the board. I think we've recently seen that with Google and all those big tech companies, that they got the people to write the code of AI to do their job, and then they sacked the people and the AI's taken over their job. I think there's always going to be a place for art, because unless they can pass a law where AI is where AI can be used in the art entertainment sector, I think that artists are still going to be needed for the time being, for I'd say another 10 years. Let's say 10 years. This is me saying this, not no one else. This is my own thoughts. But I think with the progression of AI, it could be another 10 years. But I have seen stories that a lot of these big tech companies are starting to rethink using AI, because it costs a lot of money and it's expensive. It's not very good on the environment, apparently, because of the energy it uses to calculate things. So, and the profit margins for it, like the cost to create it and then to run it, and the profit they get back from it is not very good. So a lot of companies are starting to rethink about using AI. The only reason you would continue using AI is because your enemies, in this case China and Russia, are also using AI, and you want to keep ahead of China and Russia. So that's the only reason, I think, in my own opinion, is why we're still using AI and developing it. But in the case of art, I'm not sure it's going to be it's not going to be used as much, like completely take over. I could be completely wrong though. I don't think it's going to take over completely. If it can do like retopo characters, or I don't know, make baking easier or lighting easier or whatever tools, then fine. But you'll still need an artist to do the art side, like cleanup work and stuff like that. But who knows? Maybe. Yeah, Kato says, yeah, right, they nerfed the Hulk pretty badly. Kato also says, I may have asked this before, but do you have any tutorials on creating your own realistic alpha brushes? I think there was... I think I did a live stream on how to do realistic alpha brushes, or I was planning to do a live stream. I can't remember, actually. 1 second. Did I make a... I don't think I'd make a tutorial. I think there's a live stream somewhere where I've talked about how to create your own VDM brushes and stuff like that. But I guess I can make a tutorial for that as well at some point. I have to put these down in notes. It also says, if you want to see people killed by a monster, watch Dexter. Yeah, I've heard about that, Dexter. I'll tell you what's a creepy film that I watched years ago. It was a film called Creep. Has anyone else seen the film Creep? It's based in London, so it's a film based in London on the underground. And basically, I'll just run you through the basic story. A lady is going home from a night out. I think she was drunk, and then she falls asleep in the London Underground, and the London Underground closes. So they close the gates, they shut the gates, and so she's stuck on the underground. And then in the distance of the tunnel, she sees some eyes glowing in the distance. And basically, I'll stop there. But Creep is a very cool film. You should go watch it. Conversation says, I heard the company Salesforce laid off 4,000 people and replaced by AI. Oh, yeah. I think Google laid off about 3,000. I could be wrong, but I think it's about 3,000, which is pretty bad. And Facebook's also giving up, letting people go as well. Kater says, yo, can we just get AI to retopo, unwrap, and rig our stuff, not model it? Yeah. I mean, concept artists will be the first ones to go. So if you ever see concept artists leaving a job or leaving the industry, then you know that, AI is moving one step closer to taking over. Joseph says, yes, it was a live stream. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was a live stream. I think that was in reply to Kate asking, have I created a tutorial for realistic alpha brushes? So go check out that live stream. If you are a member, you'll be able to find it. But if you're not, then it's going to be locked off, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, I'm going to stick a tongue in this guy. So, append cylinder. Stretch it up, rotate it, pinch or smooth it out. And I'm going to pinch the end of this one. There we are. Go. Just going to move this into place. It's quite a basic tongue for now. Oops. Should move that in there. Yeah. It's quite stretched up, actually, that mouth. So we're going to leave it like that for now. Okay. Okay, says, hypothetically, if AI did completely remove our jobs, what other industry would you consider going to? I don't know. It's a good question. I think if AI took over every job, are we talking every job or just entertainment? Because if it took over every job, then the governments of the country would have to pay their citizens some sort of free social credit or credit score or credit in order for the population to keep living, really. So we'd just be able to do whatever we want because AI is taking care of everything. But if it's just entertainment, I don't know. I think there's a real movement at the moment to go and do apprenticeships in electrical, plumbing, woodwork, craft, like, you know, not woodwork, but sort of hands-on jobs, you know. I think if it really came down to it, I would like to get away from computers, to be fair. You know, do something outside, do something sort of manual labor sort of thing, because, you know, it's great to be able to sit in inside on a computer and do sculpting for a living, but are you really? I don't know. I think it might just be nice to get away from it and do something else. Do something completely else, you know. Joseph Balsasi says he found it on the live stream episode 19. So there you go for the Alpha Brush. Kevin Dimitched, or just gonna say Kevin says, do you prefer the American version Godzilla or the Japanese one from the film -1? I think cool factor, I'd have to go with the American version. But pure monster, I will have to go with -1, because -1, it's unlike the Americanized version of Godzilla, which now has fifis or feelings and loves humans and, you know, wouldn't hurt a horse or a fly or anything like that. I think that's sad, pretty sad, to be fair. It's basically just a superhero wrapped up in a lizard's sort of skin, you know. But the -1 version, the monster of -1, is more. It appeals more to me. It appeals more to me because it appeals to the original idea of Godzilla, you know. I'm not a big fan of the humanization of Godzilla, the American version of Godzilla. I still think Godzilla 2014, was it 2014? Oh, bloody hell. It was 2014. Was it 2012? I can't remember if it was 2014 or 2012. The very first Godzilla. That was closer to what I would think Godzilla was. The latest one, even though I worked on it, it's not interesting. The story wasn't interesting. The creature, well, Godzilla was just a superhero. King Kong was just a pet to the humans, you know. I don't know. They just neutered the creatures, really. I would probably become an exotic animal zookeeper. Oh yeah, animals. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I wouldn't mind working with animals. I mean, I don't. Not saying I don't like animals. I never thought of it. You know, maybe a farmer. Maybe not. If anyone's seen that Clarkson's Farm, I'd probably stay clear of farming. Casey says, yeah, right. Why did they make Godzilla so soft? Yep, exactly. Comics Legend says the Japanese version, they see him as a monster. Yeah, exactly. I didn't like King Kong getting gold tooth, whatever. What the fuck? It wasn't just the gold tooth. It was, you know what it was? tell you what it was. It was the technology jump, right? Now, I absolutely hate technology jump in films. When I'm watching Godzilla 2014, the military was the military of today, right? There was no spaceships and center of the earth rubbish with these hypersonic flipping jets that go to the center of the earth or hover crafts and stuff. That's all boring. It's boring, right? I don't care for that. It's too sci-fi. Even though it's a monster film, it's still too sci-fi. I think Godzilla 2014 was great because it had a realistic grounding in reality. And King Kong, Skull Island, was also good because it was set during the Vietnam War, which, you know, that's old technology, which is great. I love the idea of the American soldiers going to fight King Kong using old technology. As soon as they went to, I think it wasn't King of the Monsters. That was still, well, actually it was King of the Monsters because they had that huge flying fortress rubbish, and it was too much, you know? Keep it grounded. People don't want to see Star Wars in every bloody film that's out there. Keep it grounded. It was very Marvel, I think. I think they were just trying to compete with Marvel. Kason says, I like the baby orangutan from the latest Godzilla. No. I like not seeing the monsters, you know? I don't like humanizing these creatures. I want them to be monsters. I want them to have no feelings, nothing like that. The only thing they're there for is to kill and maim and screw up humanity or whatever they're trying to do. When you start giving them childlike sort of emotions and human emotions, it just ruins it. It's there for the laughing factor, the laugh factor, you know, the giggles basically. And I don't know. I don't like it. Casey says, definitely watch Dexter, you'd love it. Yeah, probably. Serial killer. Not that I'm a serial killer, but yeah. I can see why a lot of people would, you know, like the idea of Dexter. All right. Where have we got to? 136. All right, okay. Comic Legend says, I also didn't like the deaf kid having connection to Godzilla. It just isn't believable. Yeah, I know. But you know why they did that? It's because they need the connection to children to go see the film. You know, they need that connection. Otherwise, they're missing a part of the market there. So they needed that type of character, I guess. Yeah, I agree. You shouldn't have kids, unless they're gonna be like, you know, hunted down by the monster, like in Aliens with Ripley and the little girl, you know, that was in that film. That makes a little bit more sense, but I don't know. I don't know. Kevin says 2014 version is like Pacific Rim. The first one is a lot better because we have this gigantic sensation. Yes, I find that as well. If you watch Godzilla, the latest one, X King Kong, Godzilla seems very small. Nothing seems, scale-wise, nothing seems big anymore, you know? When you were looking at 2014 Godzilla, when he's walking past, in Hawaii, spoiler alert, when he's walking past the buildings in Hawaii and you see all the flooded streets, and then he shoots the flare, and the flare goes up, and then it hits his side of his leg, and you just see this massive leg in front of you. You know, that's what we should be sort of looking at, not Not like in the latest Godzillas where everything's just action, action, bang, bang, you know, that sort of rubbish. Conversation says same problem with Pacific Rim 2. They had a kit repair and work on. Oh, yeah, but we know why they did that. We know why we know why there's more of that sort of stuff going on in films today. I can't really say because, you know, it's I'm in the industry like that, but we all know why there's like that sort of stuff in films. It's just the way it is, really. I'm hoping that sort of stuff is going to be sort of faded out now. Now that sort of things aren't going great for Hollywood in terms of revenue, that they'll start to think twice about doing that sort of thing in films. But only time will tell, really. But yes, all that silly stuff it just destroys franchises and the love for the franchise, you know. But of course, can't say much about it. Cakester says, generally considering getting Topo Gun now. Well, you can get it if you like. There's nothing stopping you. But I'll be honest, they do use it in studios, Topo Gun. So, you know, if you ask for a license in the studio, they'll probably have a license for Topo Gun because it is something that they use in the industry. But yeah, you can get the same results in Maya using Maya. Topo Gun is cool because it's got some cool techniques on how to do edge flows and all those sort of things a lot faster and lay down topology a lot faster. But you can get the same results using Maya, just Maya. Kozo says, I'm worried with the new He-Man movie, the scene showing him on Earth with regular clothing. We don't want a He-Man movie on Earth. It should take place in Eternia. Wow. Yes, I agree. I haven't seen it yet, but from what you've said, it sounds like they're taking a leaf out of the old He-Man. I don't know if you saw that one with the guy from Rocky 3, I think, the Russian, where they basically He-Man gets teleported to Earth, and then they spend all the time on Earth, and then they go back to Eternia for like the end sort of part of the film. So it sounds like they're replicating that. Kasa says face snapping on Blender is so bad that it takes a long time to retopo. Well, yeah, I mean the face snapping on Maya is not bad actually. It works pretty well. Joseph Bonkowski says, has Jurassic World released in England in the digital marketplaces? I'd like to buy it, but in my country still nothing. Yes, it has. There's a digital release because I bought it. I'm not going to say what happens in it because I don't want to spoil it for you, but yes, I have bought it in England, so on Amazon. Comics Legend says, I think kids in films is okay, just have them in believable roles. I agree. Not every kid is a world-class IT mathematician, scientist, you know, that sort of thing, like brainiac person. Let a kid be a kid, and if it's in a sort of horror film or some sort of horror setting, then let them be what a kid would be, and that is a scared person, because we know that kids would be scared in that sort of situation. Don't try to make them, you know, superheroes all the time. They don't need to be. Not everybody needs to be a superhero all the time. I think that's the problem already, isn't it? We got so used to watching Marvel films that now every film is basically a Marvel film. Nothing can sort of come away from being a superhero film. That's kind of along pretty nicely, this. I'm going to just go ahead and mirror these teeth over. I'm going to just do it one at a time. I think what I'll do is leave it there for tonight as well. So if you have anything else you want to ask me or whatever, go ahead and ask. I quite enjoyed this live stream. It's interesting listening to you guys and talking with you guys and chatting the shit basically about anything and everything. Yeah. Well, I missed this tooth. Move that over. Cater says, what company do you work for at the moment, or are you freelance? I am working for a virtual reality games company at the moment, based in England, and they are called Dreams, and I'm a senior characterized. The best thing about my job is I get to work from home. The worst thing about my job is I get to work from home. No, seriously. If you guys ever want to get the job in the industry, make sure you get a job in studio to start with. Especially if you're a beginning artist or, like a beginner artist, make sure you get a studio job rather than work from home, because it's vital that people go through that sort of baptism of fire, as I would probably call it, to experience what it's like to work in a studio with someone next to you to help you. I highly recommend people do that, because working from home, if you just work from home all the time, especially if you're just starting off, you don't get that social connection with the people that you work with, and that's very important in sort of the industry that you want to be in, right? Or you want to be a part of, especially at the very early stages. You want to get to know people, go drinking with them, hang out with them after work or hang out with them during work, so that you can build up relationships with these people, and you never know what that could get you in the future. Like, I was working in Hamburg, and the job sort of came to an end in Hamburg, and I had nothing, I had nothing waiting for me back here in England. So I came back, and like, I think it's about 3 weeks later, I got an email from a lady that I used to know, not work with, but know, from Hamburg, and it was for a job up north in Nottingham, for not Supermassive. Oh, I can't remember what it was. It was a job up there, so I managed to get a job because she remembered me, and so from Hamburg. So it's a lot of the time when you're in the industry, it's not what you know, it's pretty much who you know. So don't be scared to, if you do get a job in the industry, to make acquaintances with people in the studio. And if people ask you to go on a night out and have a couple of drinks, don't say no. Just go along with it, as long as they're the people you work with, obviously. And just make sure that you're someone that can that they can hang out with, you can hang out with, and the people can hang out with and stuff, because you never know that same person might be able to help you out later on in life. But definitely get a studio job. Don't get a work from home. Comics Legend says, I had the experience with both and much better enjoy working from home. You avoid the office politics, etc. It was fun hanging around, but I found I got a lot less work done in the studio. Yes, that's a very good point. You will get a lot more work done a lot faster when you work from home, but you have to, it's like I said, it's a baptism of fire, and you have to go through it when you first start off, because if you don't, then you kind of just feel like a cog in the machine. But when you get older and you've got the experience under your belt, and you don't really want to go out and drinking anymore or socializing, working from home is a blast. Kesa says, laugh out loud, as long as it's people you work with. Yeah, definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, I'll just go with random people. Cakester says, don't you have to get years of experience before you can get a job as a character artist? No, not particularly. It was a lot easier in 2015. Let's say 2015. I can't remember quite as much as well, but around 2015, it was a lot easier to get a job as a character artist than it is today, obviously. But yeah. You don't have to have, if you have really good sort of portfolio or a very good variety. No, I say variety. If your portfolio looks good and has the basic fundamentals of character art, then you can get a junior position, like a junior character art position, right? You won't be a senior, obviously, but you can work your way. Once you get into studios, you can work your way up to being more like that. But at the end of the day, the more you put into your portfolio at the beginning, like not saying the amount of work, I'm saying the amount of time on your work and researching and learning. The amount, if you can put lots of time into that and show that through your portfolio and show that you want to do it, you're not just making a portfolio with a couple of things and then saying, here's my portfolio. If you show enthusiasm to do the artwork, then it's going to come out in your portfolio, and it's going to be something that they're looking for. That's definitely something I would look for, enthusiasm. And yeah, so it's not exactly amount of years of experience, it's more amount of time you put into your portfolio and enthusiasm into what you want to achieve. Basically, that's how I would see it anyway. I mean, for me it was different. For me it was, I knew what I had to do. I had to learn how to do the bare basics of stuff, and work my way up the line, basically, and to prove myself in that way. But it's different for a lot of people, because like I said, when I was working at MPC, this was in 2015, I believe. I think it was not 2015, 2018, and some sort of time. Anyway, it must have been 2018, because it was when I was working on the Predator. I met a guy, Luke Stasi. I think his name's Luke Stasi. Great artist, very, very good artist. He was 3 years younger than me, and he was a senior, and he didn't go to university. He basically, when other people went to university, he just picked up ZBrush for 4 years and just sculpted for 4 years and learned how to use ZBrush for 4 years, and then he just got a job in the industry because he just focused all of his attention on learning ZBrush. and now he's one of the most gifted character artists out there, creature artists, character artists I know. And it's just because he spent the first the majority of his time learning how to use ZBrush at the beginning. So, you know, it's difficult. I mean, I'm not a massive fan, to be fair, of studios of universities, because it's just, for me, a waste of time. You might want to do it because you want the, you want to get the little university letter saying, or certificate saying that you went to university and you learned this and that. And it's just like, yeah, it's not really necessary anymore. I think a lot of people are waking up to that fact as well. That's why I kind of am doing this sort of live stream stuff for basically free until it goes on to memberships. That's because I want to sort of show people that you don't need a university degree to do the sort of stuff that I do. And if you do the sort of stuff I do and you get to the same sort of level, skill level as you see here, or as you see in my tutorials, then you'll be able to get a job, or you should be able to get a job without having to have university debts, you know, all those university debts. I mean, I wish I had someone like this, like me, when I was learning to do this stuff. But then again, live streaming wasn't a massive thing back in the day. But I wish I had someone teaching this sort of stuff, or just to talk about this sort of stuff, so that I could, you know, make a better decision rather than wasting so much time on certain things. And I think university was, although it was a good experience for me, I do think it was a bit of a waste of time for what I actually got out of it. So, yeah. Kater says, "Oh, I've just noticed your logo's now on the background. Looks epic." Yeah, that's my new logo over there. There. Kater says, "University was a waste of time for me. They didn't teach anything. I learned it all myself." Well, I could say the same thing. I would say the exact same thing. For three years, I basically just taught myself 3D in 3 years. So, and all I got at the end was a certificate saying that I managed to go to university for 3 years. Now when people sort of looking to hire me, I don't think they even care about my university degree. It's never come up in a, I'll say this, it's never come up in a interview, my university degree. Never. It's like it, you know. And then you ask a lot of these senior artists that are in the studios, and most of them, or some of them, probably don't even have a degree, you know, because they were in the industry before degrees were a thing. So why would they why would they need a degree for it? It's just crazy. The amount of money we waste. Tell you what, if I ever have a child, or if my niece ever wants to be an artist, I think I could make her, or make my child, an artist in very short span of time. Tamara says, "Haha, I've been working from home for a year now. It's great, but I'm getting fat and I hardly yeah. See, this is about 2 weeks no shaving. I mean, I'm going to at some point, but it's just like, what's the point right now? No one sees me when I'm at work, because, you know, the camera's off. So, but yeah, getting fat is the problem. That's why I go to the gym nearly every day. I maybe have 2 days off, tops. Maybe 2 days, not always. But yeah, very important to keep exercising. There's a guy in the studio of mine, and he has a treadmill under his desk. He's got one of those desks that lifts up, and underneath his desk he's got a bloody treadmill. I think he's a programmer, so he doesn't do any of the art stuff. So he doesn't need to worry about a Wacom tablet and all that other stuff. I'll tell you what, if I could find a job, like, I don't know if anyone's seen any of these social media posts where the day in the life of a woman a day in the life of a woman at Google, basically at Google or Facebook, right? And they're just walking around with a laptop. I wish I could just walk around with a laptop and just sit at a desk, type away, answer some emails, do some spreadsheets, close it, and then bugger off back home, and that's it, But no, I have to have a full-on studio setup, which means I can't work from anywhere in the world because, the computer that my company gave me down there is huge. Thing weighs a ton. And then I've got monitors and VR headsets to go with it. It's like, it's unfair. So I think if this sort of industry goes under, I think I'm just going to get an easy job that I can do from anywhere. Kevin says, no lies, I'm learning a lot with artists like MLW Creative than in my 3-year school. Oh, thank you very much. That's exactly what I want to inspire, basically. Keksa says, bro, I don't shave either now. We've all got the same. Yeah. I think I went, the longest I went without shaving was like 6 months. That was when I was living in Sweden. Basically, I didn't shave my facial hair for like 6 months, and it just, because I have like Chinese Asian genes in me, so can't grow very good facial hair. It just looks straggly as hell, which is really sad, really. I was about to finish like an hour, about 30 minutes ago, wasn't I? Okay, cool. So we didn't get around to actually doing some of the detailing stuff, which is like the fine detailing stuff, which is fine because we can do that next week. I like the idea of taking this one a little bit slower, get a little bit more detailed, but we will finish it next week. The detailed side of things, because now we have everything blocked out. We got the tongue, we got the teeth, we got pretty much the face and the head done. We just need to add some spines on the back, some of these details on the sides here, but we're close to getting it ready for Photoshop and taking it into Photoshop to composite. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys, because it's now, it's 2 hours in. I still got to make a pre-bedtime protein shake. It's 2 scoops of protein powder, an egg, 2 cubes of ice, milk, lion's mane mushroom extract. Don't ask me what that is. Apparently it's good for you. And what else did I put in it? Oh, some oats. And I blend that. Oh, and some blueberries. I blend that all up and I chug that down, and then I try to sleep with a full belly of all that rubbish. So that's my late night protein shake. So yeah, cool. I was going to do the 1 second. We just go here, and then I'm going to. Yeah, I was going to do all the name call outs for the members, but I think it's a bit late now, and it's difficult doing all these names. So I'm just going to show the members. I do really appreciate you guys being members, by the way. You guys keep the lights on. You also help pay for all the software and the studio setup. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for you guys, to be fair. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this sort of stuff. But here's the YouTube members. So I just want to thank all my members here. Turn off the comments real quick. Thank you to all my members here. I think I need to update it a little bit because I think a lot of you have moved over to the 6 months now. So I'll update that. But we got like 36 members, which is great. I'd love to get it to a nice round 50 at some point, but 36 is great. Really, really, really happy that you guys have joined the membership, as well as my Patreon members. I also want to thank you all as well. You're all also helping to keep the lights on, and I'm hoping that there's enough content on there for you guys to be happy with. But yeah, I want to say, I think that's it, guys. It's been great. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Try watching some films. Try watching that film, The Creep, or Creep. I think it's called Creep. Try watching that film, and we'll touch base about that on Thursday. Also, try watching the Fallout series as well on Amazon if you've got Amazon. And also the Godzilla 2014. Watch that as well. Definitely watch that one. We can talk about that a lot more next week as well. I just want to say thank you very much to everyone for joining tonight, and I'll see you all on Monday for the anatomy sculpt of the human arm. I think that's where we are at the moment. All right, cool. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more exclusive content and want to support my work further, then please check out my Patreon page at MLW_creative for more. Also, view past live streams you might have missed in Tier 3 tutorial support, where I will be archiving future streams moving forward. If you are interested in other full-length tutorials, brushes, and models, then check out my online stores for more useful content. I would also like to thank all my subscribers and patrons for supporting me for this long. Again, thanks for watching and stay safe.